What's up, guys? Steven here, and today I wanted to watch the new Sydney Watson video on why women are making dating impossible. Now, I haven't been on the dating scene in a while, but it does seem like the modern woman is a difficult one to please, especially if your politics don't fall into the far, far, far reaches of the left. So, I think this would be a fun video to watch, check out, get Sydney's opinion, and see what's going on with women nowadays.
Your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are. I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate bullshit. I want you to look at
No, we see that and we think, red flag, get away.
me and no, Donald Trump.
Oy.
Man, honestly.
Well, this is deeply unpleasant. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Now, I have not dipped my little toesy woesies into the dating discussion for quite a while, namely because every time I do, it brings really strange people out of the woodwork. We respect and like both men and women on this channel, friends. We just don't particularly like buttholes and insane people, okay? This is not a space to just aggressively hate on either sex for no reason, so mind your P's and Q's, or I'll find you and snap your little fingers. I wish that was more satisfying. That was not worth it. I love that we're starting this video with me threatening all of you like some sort of mafia boss. You know what, rather than snapping your fingers, perhaps I'll just send you all fish in the mail.
It's like when the mafia send each other fish through the post.
Anyway, one of my dear darling friends sent me this video to laugh at, but rather than finding it very funny, it just made me incredibly sad for everybody still in the dating world.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably seen that person that does like messages their Tinder matches.
Bro, what is that thing? That is just like, we need to reopen the asylums, guys. We need to reopen the asylums. What is that?
First with like the most diabolical, just fucking random shit. I do this too. It's one of my favorite fucking hobbies. So every week, I'm going to be making one of these episodes and showing you the things I've said to potential mates.
I won't lie, and maybe I'm alone in this, I think it's a little weird to go out of your way to traumatize men on the internet for views. The lads are simply trying to find someone to love as well. But more importantly, who is intentionally matching with this person on dating apps? Do you have some sort of humiliation fetish? What is going on here?
Here's one of my first ones from this week. You ever ate a hot dog backwards? I feel like this is a great way to open a conversation. Because, like, there's no wrong answer, you know? Now this...
Like, that's just revolting. Like, there's nothing even remotely,
This one, I think is fucking hilarious. Do you think bugs would choose to work a 9 to 5 if they had better health insurance? God knows I would. I'm not really sure what the theme is with the hot dogs today.
Do you think leftists tried not
like that thing looks like it's gonna rip out the middle of her nose, bro.
to be funny on purpose, or do you think it just happens that way? So because I hate myself, I went and looked up this girl's TikTok. She calls herself
46,000 followers.
All of this is checking out so far. It feels exclusively like this account was made for me to hate watch. Anyway, after scrolling her weird videos, I found that about a month after the clip I showed you, she was banned from Tinder. Yeah, maybe it was asking men weird questions about hot dogs. Just a thought. You see, I got perma-banned on the dating app Bumble for impersonating myself. You got banned because you drew anorexic caterpillars on your face. Anyway, apparently women like our friend Bunny here are making dating a lot harder than it needs to be. And during my travels of the internet, I came to find out that this is apparently more of a feature of modern dating, not a bug. And because of women who look and act this way,
what is wrong with women, dude? What? Oh my gosh. We're so cooked. We're just so cooked. There's nobody. Who's gonna marry that? Like, seriously. Who's gonna procreate with that?
Given rise to the term septum ring theory, or nose ring theory. So because my birth year starts with a 1-9, I had absolutely no idea what this meant and had to look it up. And
Sydney, so does mine, and I know what the nose ring theory is. Come on. It's you don't even have to have anybody explain it to you. Like, you just have to have interacted with the public to know what the nose ring theory is.
Refers to women who have a septum piercing, or I guess nose piercings in general, being mentally unwell and psychotic.
All right, kids, I just woke up and I saw this comment and was like, what?
Dude, she probably a lefty, but like, she don't look too crazy.
What does this mean? So I did my little research on the internet, the TikTok search bar, and it turns out that I'm fucking crazy. I mean, he ain't wrong. I'm in therapy, I'm medicated, I'm bi, whatever.
At least they're admitting to it.
Fun, though.
I don't know what to do with this.
The MAGAs just started calling this like, oh, nose ring theory. Every woman with a nose ring is apparently crazy.
See, like, the nose ring just leads to the rest of the personality, though, right? Like, that last girl, you could obviously tell she seemed like a cool, lighthearted kind of girl. This girl, you could just tell looking at her that she a Karen, yo. Like, she's asking to speak to your manager.
Essentially, what this so-called theory states is that women with septum rings make their trauma, their whole personality, they're unhinged, crazy, and basically it's just a way to discredit, denounce, and degrade women.
Your comments saying,
I mean, accurate?
nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are.
No, sweetheart, they aren't. Like, you're like, just look at your face. Like, you're proving the nose ring theory correct. It's not said to make you feel bad. It's said to notice the red flag.
I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate bullshit. I want you to look at me and...
safe space is pretty far down the list.
No. Donald Trump. Men, honestly. What's going on in the world right now?
I watched like 20 of these videos of women with septum bars and nose piercings
so
angrily
cringe.
disagreeing with these comments being left on their videos, but without fail, every single one of them was a leftist, because stereotypes do actually exist for a reason. It actually annoys me a lot because when I was an emo teenager, everybody cool had a septum piercing and all of us wanted one because they were a real sign of being in the alt community, like the actual alt community, not whatever it is today, whatever
Not
the kids
the
are doing
posers.
today. Now, the only people who look like this are people who have daddy issues so hard they think the government should parent them.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that Trumpers are just now realizing that.
Is that a guy or a girl? Does the septum theory still work for guys?
People who have different views than them have nose rings. Like, yeah, bud.
It's not about your views. It's about how crazy you are.
I decided a long time ago I don't want to conform to your beauty standards.
You know, a lot.
So you don't want to conform to the normal beauty standards. You'll just conform to the abnormal beauty standards. Like, the fact that there's a septum ring theory means that a lot of people have that. So you're conforming to a trend, just not a popular trend.
A lot of these people are just extremely, extremely alarming human beings. Like the sort of people who
They're
you
crazy.
would reject and then they would go to extreme lengths to find you out in the real world and come to your house. And that's actually entirely possible because of how much of your private information is accessible on the internet through data
outbreak.
brokers. Used why they're having so much trouble finding a man to date. More
real
specifically of the
confused, I
liberal
bet.
variety.
This video is for my girlies who are in relationships with liberal men. More specifically, people that are just like super down with like human rights,
They
women's
found
rights,
men that lie
don't
to
support
them.
genocide, aren't transphobic, aren't homophobic, aren't racist type shit, you know? I'm curious where you
my
found
God.
them and if you think there's
This like 30-year-old looking woman talking like she's a 15-year-old.
any left. Don't get me wrong. Super happy that you like got your hands on one. It's
Oh
kind
my
of giving
God,
like
the
ultra rare,
cringe.
like
Oh.
24 karat gold, little bit
Sydney, how did you make this video? This is
type
painful.
shit. Like that's super awesome. Just curious if you think there's any left and where you would direct us single girls to find them.
Honey, they don't exist. They're too busy getting pegged. Jokes aside, there's actually this humorous trend on social media where
took me
these
a
women,
sec.
once again, are asking not only where the liberal men are, but where are the liberal men who behave like conservative men?
They don't
Do you want to
exist.
know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship.
Yeah, because the liberal values don't align with the traditional masculine role. It's like saying you're a gay guy and you're having a hard time finding women that have penises. Like, it doesn't work that way.
In today's day and age, who is not a conservative? A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide. Who is not a conservative?
Crazy?
Videos like this are so
like, how can you just be this blind to like society and basic human functions and personalities? Like,
real to me, and it's very hard to put into words why, but I'm going to try. I don't think there's anything wrong or weird or strange or inherently leftist about wanting to be treated as an autonomous, independent person. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's quite strange to participate in the same ideology that has browbeaten men for decades, insisted that chivalry and sort of traditional values are a tool of the patriarchy, and then turn around when you're ready and...
Yeah, it's because women want to have their cake and eat it too. Like, they want this feminized, demasculated, pussified man that they can control and take all of his money, but they also want the masculine, macho protector guy that's going to be their king and treat them like a queen. Like, I mean, they just don't know what the hell they want, which, I mean, kind of what else is new, right? But they can't have it both ways. It doesn't come both ways, lady. You're either going to date a gay guy who likes men and you'll be his beard, or you're going to date a normal guy, but you're not going to find some macho machismo guy that's also a pussy. Like, it's not going to happen.
Say, no, I want it now. I personally don't think that treating women, particularly with respect and decency and kindness and blah, 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 should be a left-wing or right-wing thing, just like I don't think that treating men with decency and kindness and love should be a particularly left-wing or right-wing thing.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be, but the problem is that the left has gone on this radical feminization where we don't need no man, we don't need your money, we don't need your anything. Like, we are woman heroes war, we're independent, we can do all of our own thing, we don't need you, you should be our woman. And that's the ideology they're buying into. So like, they would get mad if a guy holds the door open for them because, what, I ain't strong enough woman to open a door? I'm just your little dainty princess, rah, 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 rah. Like, you can't win with these people.
However, in the context of men acting this way, it's typically conservative traditional beliefs that underpin this behavior. I'm sorry it's this way. You've told all the liberal men that everything has to be 50-50 and that you want to be fully...
Yeah, you tell the liberal men you want to be treated as equal. You don't want them to do anything for you. You're strong woman, hear you roar. You can do it all on your own. You don't need his money. You don't need his affection. You don't need his time. Then you wonder why you're not getting any of those things. Like, it's so asinine, man.
Be equal to him, and he's going to act that out. He's going to expect you to behave in such a way that demonstrates that.
Yep.
And fair enough. You've told him that's what you want. It's no wonder that...
It's like women want the illusion of being equal without actually being equal. They want to get told they're equal, but really not make any of the decisions or take any of the risk.
Fertility rates are falling. Everyone is insane. To be honest with you all as well, I think that the sort of social conditioning that I just described around male-female behavior is probably why a lot of men now actively do not want to approach women, and why women, the normal ones, are finding this very frustrating.
I better pay attention to me tonight.
I mean, for any young guys out there, it's like, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter. If she turns out to be some crazy feminist leftard that yells at you and curses you out for approaching her and asking her name and stuff, then, like, screw her. Like, don't let it bother you. 20 women yelling at you and then one woman that actually is a decent human being, like, that's well worth it. So, like, just don't let it bother you.
I'm sick of this shit. Oh my god. Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever!
Yeah, because if they did, like, look at you. I can already tell any guy who comes up, you probably making a post on TikTok like, ugh, this creep came up and tried to hit on me while I was running. Ugh. Like, she already got that attitude about her. So you already know. But like I said, for the guys, I mean, who cares? Don't let it deter you. It's just unfortunately part of being a man. You're going to get shit on a lot and you just kind of got to take it. But then you'll approach the women that are actually worth it. That'll make up for all the crazy ones that you tried to talk to beforehand.
God, like, please.
Guys don't approach girls at the bars anymore.
I do.
I don't expect guys to come up to me, but I know the caliber of my friends, and I know what those bitches look like, and they are some stunning. If guys aren't going up to them, guys aren't going up to fucking anyone. So I think if you're going up to girls at the bar in the first place, whether you say hi, whether you say, can I buy you a drink, whether you use Nick's line, which is a great line, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you have a million times better of a shot.
I think it's worth pointing out, because it often gets lost in this conversation, that a lot of the women who are now experiencing men withdrawing from them, young men withdrawing from them, actually had nothing to do with the messaging that caused that reaction in the first place. They were little girls when all of this was being so heavily laid on everybody. And now, unfortunately, they're the ones who are getting kicked in the head by the messaging that generations beforehand had been, you know, forcing onto men. I don't know if I articulated that well at all. Hopefully I did. So I really...
Yeah, I mean, I think what she's saying has a lot of truth to it, right? The current generation of women and the guys that they'd want to be dating, they came up at the same time. So it's not like they didn't construct these gender roles that were pushed on society for the last, 15, 20 years especially. They grew up in them just like the men did. It's the generation before that that really amplified this pussification of men, if you call it.
Feel for these young women because they had nothing to do with it, and I feel bad for the young men because they've been once again browbeaten from the time that they were little to sort of go against innate instincts of, wanting to chase and all these fun things. So I don't know, I think everything's pretty screwed up. But this video is not about the women who are collateral damage in all of this. This is about the crazy, psychotic women who are canceling dates because a guy said that he's not interested in politics.
I was supposed to go on a date tonight, but I realized I hadn't asked him enough questions, so I called him before. I was like, "You mind if we just do a quick little run-through questionnaire?" And he's like, "Yeah." Doesn't care about politics. Doesn't care about politics. So
this guy will probably never realize, but he did in fact dodge a major crazy bullet. I love that you guys don't even have to tell these women that you're right-wing anymore. You can just say, "I don't care," and they'll dump you anyway. Once you actually meet.
Yeah. Now even if you're agnostic when it comes to politics, that makes you a right-wing grifter.
Men and spend time with them, you realize that they don't really care about too many things anyway. This is not terribly surprising behavior. These women have actually pathologized having normal conversations in an effort to get to know somebody, to ask them questions to see if you're compatible. Because these people do not live on planet Earth with the rest of us, rather than spending the time getting to know somebody as a human being like you normally would, they have instead decided that questions are only for finding out if someone is empathetic and progressive and whatever. Lord help you guys. Yeah. Seriously. Imagine having to play progressive 20 questions.
Luckily, though, that generation of women that feels that way aren't going to be procreating. So we'll only have to deal with one generation of them, hopefully.
Before you can have the most disappointing sex of your life.
So I have come up with 10 questions that you can ask when you're dating to see if this person actually has empathy and progressive values.
This video is like torture,
being so
man.
Obvious. Like they're actually going to have to think about this. So here we go. So the first question is, tell me about a time you changed your mind about something important to you that...
So like after 15 years in customer facing roles, these type of people, like this Karen, liberal, entitled woman, just makes my skin crawl. I just hate them. It's one of the reasons I don't do those type of jobs anymore. So watching these are pure torture.
Maybe your friends or your family members didn't agree with.
It's probably pertinent that I tell you that this is the same woman who encouraged her followers to break up with their conservative partners. So do with that what you will. Is that dog fluff? Oh my god. Sydney, oh my god, it's dog fluff. Then there are the women who just patently lose their minds at the very prospect of dating a man with differing political viewpoints.
I cannot believe a man said this to me. Actually, I can. The other day when I posted the video about, like, you know, like wanting a liberal guy or whatever, I had this dumbass literally send me a message and he was like, well, he doesn't have to be a liberal man. Why can't it just be a man that treats you good? Sir, because a MAGA man isn't going to treat me good. You know why? Let's just start with first and foremost. You voted against my fucking rights. Okay?
Ah, yes. This is a completely normal reaction to someone asking you to be...
Like, how did they gaslight a whole generation of women to thinking that abortion is a civil right? Like, you got freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to kill your baby. Like, I don't understand how the liberals convinced everyone that somehow a vote for abortion is a vote for women's rights. It's crazy.
Open-minded to a nice man. How dare he? I mean, at this point, I am ready to vote against this woman's rights. Golly. I'm not trying to pick on single mothers, just by the
She does kind of make a good argument for why we should have abortion.
way, because I got love for you ladies, but I knew as soon as I saw this video that this woman is in fact a single mother. Because of the general air of insufferability, you know, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I can definitely tell that this is a difficult person to live with.
I cannot believe a man said this to me.
I don't know, lady. Maybe get your septum pierced. I hear that that's the entry fee to get the therapy that you so desperately need. So I had been both a woman and right-wing more or less my entire life, you know, sort of like oscillating on the right-wing spectrum. And it's kind of funny because nowadays I find myself to be the most moderate on certain issues than I ever have been previously. Mostly because I think everybody's insane. I am the only sane one. I have built a tower around myself and nobody is allowed to enter or disturb my sanity. Anyway.
It's kind of funny because, like, how crazy the left has gotten. If I were to have more extreme right views, I don't even want to acknowledge those, and I want to push them to a more moderate position just because the left is so far left that to have any kind of reasonable viewpoint, you can't even be far right anymore. Unless you want to be ostracized or completely out of politics, because nobody that you're voting for is going to represent any of your core beliefs. So
it was always important to me to find somebody who had core values that I shared, because that just generally makes life a lot easier. But I would never reject somebody because they were apolitical, which you guys know is an actual thing here. If a guy is not overtly political, these women just assume that he is a raging right-winger.
Yeah, newsflash, we have like 300+ million people in America, and only like less than a third of that votes. So there's probably a lot of people that don't really give an F.
No, Bunny, he just doesn't give a crap about politics. Maybe he's the only sane person in the sane tower with his hobbies and fishing. Actually, I'm just kidding. A dude with a fishing photo, they would 100% think is right-wing. God forbid a man has hobbies.
Insta-MAGA.
Woman, what am I going to do with that if you don't say that you're liberal? If you're a white man, are you trying, and you match, and you like my profile, you see that I'm bi on my profile, are you trying to convert me? Are you trying to...
If you're bi, then how would they be converting you?
Turn me straight? Or what's going on here? What's going on here? Are you liberal but just didn't write it? What's going on?
I'm sorry, this one was a uniquely painful watch. Delivering to camera in one fell swoop where you just speak words and they make sense and they sound nice is actually quite hard. But if you can't get it correct, why are you still putting it on the internet? Like, why are you exposing people to this? Maybe we should have just left this one in the drafts. So if you are wondering why this is happening, why dating is so hard, and honestly, this is all pretty self-evident. Like I said, there's a massive, massive divide happening between men and women. With women obviously getting much more progressive, and them also determining that political affiliation is one of the most important factors when it comes to choosing a partner. And these women want you to know that they hate Trump. They want you to know that they have more extreme political opinions in the leftward direction, and they're very upset that they can't signal these things on dating apps appropriately.
What are we doing? Leftists on dating apps, what are we picking? Because I already started the discourse on Twitter, but I want to know your opinion.
Are we...
Listen, if you're far left, you're just going to have to be gay, which means you're not going to procreate. I mean, it just comes back to that simple, because most straight people aren't going to share in your crazy ideologies.
Picking liberal? Or are we picking...
If it's a stopping point for you, right? If you're liberal, but you could, stomach yourself dating a conservative person or somebody with more moderate opinions, well, then you'll be fine out there. But if you're far left and you won't tolerate anyone that's just as crazy far left, like, good luck finding a mate that's not same sex.
Non-political other? Like, they don't have an option for us. Please let me know. What is worse of two options? Worse or worser? Because I'm having a hard time dissecting if these people are actually leftists, liberals, non-political. Like, we really need a leftist option.
I find this really interesting, though, on a statistical level, and this has been demonstrated over and over and over again. Between progressive women and conservative / right-wing women, us righties are much less worried about finding somebody who aligns with us 100% politically. But unsurprising to none of you, the leftist progressive women are incredibly concerned with it. I found one...
Yeah, like, I feel like most guys accept that they're gonna have a woman with more leftist viewpoints. Women are more empathetic, more emotional, so of course they're going to have the left aligns with those viewpoints more. The right is more pragmatic, more realistic, and so men tend to be more rational.
Completely insane survey that, if I'm reading this correctly, determined that very liberal women would prefer to date an ex-felon over someone with a differing political view. This is actually so funny because I found this TikTok which basically says, he might be evil, but at least he's liberal, and I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to use this in this video, but it fits perfectly here, so here you go. What the because of course you've decided that the felon is less bad than these men who you have decided randomly, arbitrarily, are just as bad as, I don't know, Nazis and want to, like, steal your uterus or something. With the uterus stealing, we're talking about a different group of men. I hate explaining jokes, but I'm talking about the It's weird because despite liberal women desperately wanting someone who politically aligns, they report higher levels of dissatisfaction with life and dating. Wow. I can't imagine why. Let's draw some dead caterpillars on our face and go figure it out, Scoob. What are you doing? Hi, Liam. I got groomed yesterday and I'm a pretty boy now. You can't see him. He's a pretty boy now. All right, go away. Be gone from me, vile man. I also want to give props to men here because on a statistical front, and this has been demonstrated over and over, men are just less interested in someone's political views aligning with theirs. Not 100%, just really at all. And I think that's quite evolved, although other people would argue that's just because men will go after anything with a heartbeat. And maybe there's some truth to that too. I'm going to determine that it's because you guys are more interested in someone being nice and kind and lovely rather than who she votes for. Modern dating is really hard, and it's being made even harder by these insane, crazy women who are so fixated on finding somebody who has as extreme political opinions as them, whereas men are just out here like, I just want to find someone who's nice and normal. So maybe the women are doing you a favor then in that case. What I think is genuinely crazy here is that men seem to be on a quest to find someone to share their life with, and there is this massive...
Men are just trying to find women that aren't crazy. that won't kill them in their sleep. And women are trying to find a man with a laundry list. Good to look at, not crazy. That's pretty much the man's shopping list there when it comes to women.
Cohort of women who won't even look their way. It doesn't matter if they're apolitical, it doesn't matter if they're a little bit right-wing, it doesn't matter if they're the most extreme right-wing. These women, these progressive women, view all men through the same lens and tar them with the exact same brush. Like I said before, I don't think there's anything wrong at all with wanting somebody who shares your core values, because like I said, it makes life a lot easier, it makes doing a bunch of things a lot easier, like child rearing and all that fun stuff. However, I think that
yeah, I mean, I don't even think it matters that much because a lot of political opinions aren't really core beliefs. People make them much, much more important than they actually are. Core belief is that, you know, you want to stay married and not get divorced. You want to have children or you don't. You want to certain religion or you don't. Those are really core beliefs that matter when it comes to bringing up a family and all that. How you feel about border policy doesn't really make a difference.
Somebody with whom you disagree on a multitude of topics actually makes life really interesting, and it means that you can have discussions and debates and you can exchange ideas and grow with each other. If you think the exact same way about absolutely everything, I mean, personally, this is just me. You guys are welcome to disagree, but I don't think that's very fun. And coming back to the videos of the women.
I mean, it's just like we talked about before, like with echo chambers and stuff. Don't be in an echo chamber, right? It's okay to have people that share your beliefs, but have varying degrees within your social circle, and nothing wrong with that in a relationship, because that just means you can have more open discussions, more debates, more interesting conversation around things going on in the world, and maybe take on some different viewpoints or have your viewpoint sharpened and honed.
Who are asking, why won't men approach me? Well, why would a man take the risk of approaching a woman when there is a not a 0% chance that he is going to get chewed out because he doesn't align with her politically? There's obviously so much to this topic. There's always going to be so much to the topic of dating. And just to be clear, there are a lot of things that obviously we didn't talk about in this video that do revolve around men making dating equally as challenging, but that is a topic for another video. Nope, you guys are not faultless. We blame everybody equally on this channel. But when it comes to focusing on the women, I just have a few final thoughts that I want to leave you with. I asked one of my girlfriends who is a former leftist about this, and she is married with children, and I thought her insight would actually be quite interesting into the sort of thought processes going on here. And she told me that even when she was a leftist, her goal was still to get married and have a family, but that was separate from her political views, and more so, she was just focused on having a loving family. But where she sees a big difference with the women of today is that many of them are rejecting family to quote unquote fight the patriarchy.
Yeah, it's because they made not being a traditional family a political issue.
To combat climate change and to not have children and thus continue ruining the world. And in her opinion, and I guess in mine as well, it's really, really bizarre. It is very weird to base the entire course of your own life.
They're going to regret it. I mean, they're going to regret it. When they're 60, 70, 80, can't have any kids, have no family to live past them. I've said once, I've said before, find a woman that's not crazy, fall in love, have babies as soon as you can. Best thing you can do.
On national politics and world politics. And I think if we're being real, thinking about relationships and love, and particularly men this way, is just making things so much harder than they need to be. It's making things so much crazier than they need to be. In the end, jeopardizing your own happiness because you continually overlook loving, kind men because they are not foaming progressive leftists is quite crazy. But as far as the men go, I have to think maybe these ladies are doing you a favor, and you are also all collectively dodging one giant bullet. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Incogni using the link in the description. I am a huge fan of this service.
So great video by Sydney. Really enjoyed it, even though I cringed through most of it. But yeah, modern left women have a big issue. If they're looking for men that are just as left as them, they're probably not going to find it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Smash that like button and go give this video a like on Sydney's page as well. Otherwise, guys, let's get back to work. Keep praying. I'll see you in the next one.